I have one call started with Dr. CFO. They were going to be talking about another piece of equipment, the Juliet laser. Perhaps you are interested in using that. So please pay quick attention to this equipment simulation.
All right, so we're going to take a look at the Juliet laser used by dermatologists for facial improvements. This one I have to be used for 5 years for depreciation. 5 is kind of the maximum for me. Equipment changes a lot. Not to say that it won't last 10 years, but I'm just not willing to go that high. So 5 years, equipment price just under $120,000. There's some annual maintenance. Again, we believe this is low risk for the doctor, meaning that there's going to be good outcomes. Low risk for the front office. Different usages, 1, 2, and 3 times per month. So not really a lot. The lowest treatment price is $1,000. An average might be $1,850, and a high price $2,700, just depending on what's being done. There's no supply costs. We're going to pay this person $100 an hour. It's going to take an hour. We're going to mark it up a little bit for benefits and whatnot, employee taxes, unemployment taxes, etc., etc. There's actually 9% commission on this as well, and it's going to be based off the gross, meaning whatever this price is. But there's actually no treatment supply costs, so in this case, gross and net would be the same. So let's turn over here to see what it looks like. Okay, so we put in our Juliet. You can see the 119,000, the years, the months, the different price points, the different usages from 1 to 5, our commission model. So $90, $166, $243, depending on which one we sell. Again, over 5 years, it's going to be almost $24,000 that I'm going to have to cover. Now, your tax guy might depreciate this differently, but we're using this for product costing, not for tax purposes. So I'm going to think about it differently than they are. Different usages here, anywhere from 12, 24, 36, 48, 60 times a year. So depending on how many times you use it, if I only use it 12 times a year, I got $2,000 just in equipment cost to burn off there. Whereas if I do it 60 times, it's $400. So hopefully that is making sense to you. Maintenance and insurance, again, it's kind of the same model, right? That burns down. The more I use it, the less per unit cost it is. And that's why we like to look at it that way. And then, of course, there's our labor cost, and then there's going to be a commission cost that comes in as well. Okay, so looking at this one, if I only do 12 a year, you definitely do not want to do this. You're losing money. You don't want to do that. If somebody gives you one for free, then great. That makes sense at 40.9%, 49.5%. But you can see the contribution margin, the years to pay back, is going to take 20 years. You don't want any part of that. Even this one here, at this low price point, 5 times a month or 60 times a year, 73, 33. That's kind of like I've mentioned in past videos. This is my minimal 2.7 years to pay back. That's not bad. This one, if I could commit to selling 5 a month at this price point, I'd say, yeah, it might work. If you can get 6, even better. Okay, so if I can kind of do more of an average price, okay, now it's making sense, right? If I can do 3 times a year and I could get, bigger jobs, bigger procedures, maybe a couple procedures done, now it's making sense. But 12, 24, in either situation doesn't work. Even 12 in the highest price scenario doesn't work. It still takes almost 5 years to pay back. That's just too long. It needs to pay back sooner. I'd say 3 years is kind of my number. 3 years, and if not less. So if you can get this kind of a deal, $2,700 for combined treatments, and it pays off really fast. So again, if you're going to buy this and you're only going to use this really once a month, and you're not committed to driving the sales to get what you need to make it work. And notice in this example, I didn't even put any marketing costs. But let's say that we did. Let's say that, yeah, I'm going to put in marketing costs and I'm going to spend $2,000 a month because I got to get this thing going. Okay, great. So that's $24,000. Now that's going to pull over into our model. Okay, so now I've got some marketing costs that show up here. And of course, every time we use it, that price goes down depending on how many times that we use it, right? So, all right, so coming back to this, you can see our marketing cost is, $3,000 a time. Totally not worth it, right? $1,600, even in this case, $400 $400 if I put it at $24,000. Maybe that's a little bit rich. But maybe it's not. It's an expensive treatment. So let's just put it down to $12,000. So again, I can model things a little bit differently. Makes it a little bit more realistic, but still now, once I throw that in there, I see more in the red than there were before. This just doesn't make sense at the low price point. So I'm gonna have to get bigger procedure groups. Now it's kind of starting to make sense, 2.9 years, but look at that, 25, that's not good. So I'd want to say, well, fine, you have to commit to doing at least $1,850 per procedure or a combination of procedures. And or if I sell a low one, it needs to be offset by a high one. And that kind of makes sense. So this one, you know, it could work, but you're going to have to really sell it for it to make sense. Thanks and have a great day.